In this video, we'll be looking at Spotify as our focus brand and beginning by asking the Brox Quick Query bar a broad question about consumer perception. Once entered, the Quick Query bar is analysing thousands of consumer video interviews to find relevant insights to our question, with full access to all the videos and transcripts should you want to look at individual responses. Here, we can see consumers value Spotify's vast music library, user-friendly interface, cross-platform accessibility, and personalization features. However, what's quite interesting is seeing our additional insight that mentions some consumers switching over to YouTube for their music needs. This looks like an interesting avenue to explore further to understand why this is happening. Let's follow up and ask why people are switching from Spotify to YouTube for their music. Even though we've still asked this to our broad Spotify audience, the Quick Query bar will still only search for the relevant insights where consumers have specifically referenced content related to our question. So you can ask the finer questions alongside the broader ones. What we can see quickly is that cost, variety of content, and ease of use are three major factors in this consumer decision. Let's quickly view the quantitative data before trying to find out how we can remedy this. In this instance, the quant we're looking at is of those who mentioned switching to YouTube. However, not every individual has mentioned a reason for their switch, so we'll assess the data from the angle of those who have. Unsurprisingly, we see pricing concerns coming out on top, with those other issues still being important. So how can we fix this? By quickly jumping back to the Brox Quick Query bar, we can ask for some recommendations about what messaging Spotify could use to win back users. It looks as though the personalized experience, ad-free listening and offline access, exclusive content and podcasts, and finally the user-friendly experience and features could be 4 valid options to emphasize to consumers as to why they should stay or switch back to Spotify. We can now take these 4 options and put them straight into the Brox message testing tool. Once copied in, we add some additional context, select our audience and the demo breakdown we'd like to see, and we're done. It really is that simple. In just seconds, you'll receive instant feedback on your messaging concepts, whichever stage you're in, be it looking at broader areas to focus on, specific features like we're doing here, or even between those final stage messaging copy options. The tool itself is drawing from the Brox Shadow Panel, a group of thousands of panelists, each of which Brox has an incredible depth of video data that allows us to accurately predict each individual's answer to any research question. What we can see is that ad-free listening and offline access is clearly the preferred option among most demographics. But personalized experience is a big factor as well. We can look further into each demo to see a massive breakdown of why that choice was made and an array of further follow-up questions that you might be considering asking, already asked for you. Additionally, the overall summary and more can be found below these demo breakdowns. Just for good measure, we can look at the quant for this data as well, where we can see the top 2 options in the qual are clear favourites among consumers. But say you're looking for something a little different. For example, which artists should Spotify collaborate with to improve consumer opinion of their brand? Well, once again, Brox has the answer. By clicking on Ask Brox in the left toolbar, you can type in your question, in this case regarding artist collaboration, as we just discussed. Then we can add some additional context. In this case, I'll paste in some potential artists, then click Submit. Once your results have been processed, you'll receive them in a dashboard like you see here. We gave the Shadow Panel a long list of answers to peruse through, and we can see that Taylor Swift, maybe unsurprisingly, comes out on top as one of the most popular artists Spotify could collaborate with. We also can look into a summary of our Swifties, a demographic breakdown, and as a bonus, some collaboration ideas with other artists too. And there you have it. If you want to see how your brand and your personal workflow could benefit from Brox, get in touch and book a demo today.